go. Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Oh, yeah, you know exactly what time it is, man. Let me come to the ring.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance. Standing at 6'2", 190 pounds. I give you, boy, I'm made different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with real life. I seen a couple people try and it ain't even pretty. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me. It can end quickly. In the way I level up, I make them speak differently. They be make a wish in me. I got these hoes in the fence. They can't seem to get to me. It take more than booty cheeks. Need a little more conversation, cause I still be trying to see. I be listening with my eyes. Yeah, I still be trying to see. I be moving like the prize. You can't find
Walking shit down. Yeah, we here. Yo, it's classic with the classic codes, man. I got a great live show for y'all, man. Yeah. They not gonna outwork me. I'm for certain they not gonna outwork me. Shout out to Ken in the chat early, man. He said, drop that shit there. Yeah, they want to know where they can find it. Look. Yeah, man. Hit the subscribe button. Maybe I'll drop it. You know what I'm saying? We on the road to 1,000. We on the road to 1,000 subs, man. But I got a great show for y'all today, man. The thumbnail god is back. Check it out. We got a story time that we starting off with. Then we gonna move into the live reaction video, and then we gonna move into the question of the day. After that, we have the code language conversation. So I got a whole setup for y'all today, man. I ain't got nothing but time, cuz today I got time, cuz. How y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling, man? I hope y'all in a good mood. But we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna get straight into the live reaction. We're gonna get straight in. No, we're going straight into the story time. So there's a woman who said that she accidentally attended a freak off. So we're gonna see how accidental it was. We're gonna do our pause. We're gonna give our reactions. You know, I'm chime in with the chat, the whole thing. We're gonna get right into it though. We ain't wasting no time. Let's go. See what she talking about, y'all.
Them freak offs. If Diddy is, and Cassie definitely is a victim, Diddy ain't the only person going down. So y'all want a story time about how I unintentionally attended a freak off. I think it's crazy because people think that only Diddy started these freak offs, but I'm pretty sure anybody in the industry can tell you exactly how often freak offs happen. Now, this was back in like 2016. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to get straight to the point. Invited out by a group of people that were in the entertainment industry because I was a dancer and I had pulls and connects. I had those. So like anybody else that was in that time, everybody wanted to go to Atlanta. Atlanta was the Black Hollywood. So I go to this restaurant, nice ass restaurant. I made the comment that I was cold, and these people literally brought me a personal heater. Like, I mean, to me, that was something because I was young and it's like, okay, little old me. Okay. So fast.
She had to explain why she was impressed. It's okay to be impressed. It's okay to be impressed. I mean, I think that's why we go do nice things so we could find it impressive. I mean, I get the whole idea of like, act like you've been here before, but like, baby, you don't got to do that for the internet. It's perfectly fine for you to have been impressed with that experience. You know, we're in America. Customer service isn't necessarily at a premium. So for you to have been treated that way, it's okay. You don't have to explain like, oh, I was young. Like, it's okay to be impressed if you was 40. It's okay to be impressed, baby. But continue.
Fast forward that night, it was 3 men, and this is at the hotel. It was 3 men. I was family with one of them. So mind you, I was supposed to have 2 separate rooms. Everybody was in one room. I'm the only female in the room. That was the first red flag. I didn't care because I just knew at the end of the day, like, I could call up a female and it's Atlanta. Like, Come on now. Okay, we go to this party that I wasn't even intentionally invited to. It was like I was just a plus one. Mind you, I did know the dude very well. It wasn't like he was a stranger. No, we had done plenty of shows together with I don't want to name drop, but like I am just to show credentials. It was Jessica Dom, Melissa, Stevie. We had to work with a couple people. Okay. At the time, Love and Hip Hop was just starting out. So later on that night, it was a party and it was a masquerade party. Did not know too much about masquerade parties. I just knew that it was this big mansion masquerade party and everybody had to wear masks. So walking in, everybody had the type of mask that you wear to your face. If you didn't have one or brought one, they had them like at the table as soon as you walked through the door. Mind you, you did have to have a code, like a secret word to get in. And once you get in, it was literally just like a regular mansion ballroom type of thing. So this is where it get crazy, right? So my homeboy or whoever you want to call him, he's an older dude. I'm younger. You probably would have thought the nigga was my sugar daddy, but if you know, you know. And for the people in the SIP, if you know the only man that I was hanging around and now he's locked up, you do the math. And no, it's not Diddy. Be for real. So anyway, this whole mansion party, it was like you wouldn't have known if it was any celebrities there, like I said, because everybody had on masks. And I don't think this had anything to do with like no. So the guy that I'm cool with, he wanders off and he leaves me because there was like this back room. It had a red rope and it was security standing there. And if you did not know anybody, like you had to know somebody to get in this back section. Okay. It's like alcohol. But y'all, the alcohol was not the same type of alcohol that I drink now. And I was not a drinker until I started dancing. So it really makes me think now how much I honestly did not remember. Like, I don't know, minutes. He comes back. He says immediately, y'all, we got to go. Y'all, when I tell you, when we get back to the room, this man act like he has seen a fucking ghost. And he literally told me, I'm trying to get straight to the point as possible. There were Asian kids that were performing sexual acts on Caucasian men. There were Vietnamese or Asian kids again.
Hold on, y'all. This way different. This way, hey, whoa. Now listen, I know I do my best to give y'all authentic reactions, right? So I don't watch these before we go. I understood that she was going to give her experience. I understood that it may not have necessarily had anything to do with Puffy, but I didn't think she was going to say this right here, chat. What's going on? He said peasant lifestyle. Yeah. Listen, I ain't think we was getting here, chat. Children, not the babies. All right, y'all. She's censoring herself, so we're going to let her rock because she is censoring herself. She's not saying none of the trigger words, so she ain't going to get my account flag, so we're going to let her play ball. Let's go.
Serving Uggs on trays, dancing on top of tables, basically entertaining these men. And it was different rooms. It was room after room after room with this going on. He said that he was so disturbed because he had kids older than the kids that were doing all of this stuff. And the kids obviously had been so used to it. So honestly, it had me thinking, if a grown man is spooked out behind what he saw, how till that day, y'all, when I say he was, like I said, promoters back then were not the same as promoters we're not the same as promoters now. Promoters back then actually booked people, like I said, we booked numerous of celebrities at the time, and it was never no problem. And like I said, the names that I dropped had nothing to do with this freak off, so that was just for credentials.
Listen to me, y'all. They always talk about these big houses in these back rooms. It's a consistent thing, right? These rooms, little rooms. It's rooms it's certain doors you don't open. It's certain doors you got to walk through. And rooms. They always talk about these rooms, man. And the problem is, for the right price, these people be going in these rooms. Y'all got to stay out of these rooms. Weird room. I've been in entertainment a long time, not for nothing. I've been in some rooms that got weird, but not that weird. Not none of the stuff at the trial that Diddy going through weird. Not weird like what this woman here talking about. Nothing weird like this here. But you know, I've casually seen somebody just partake in hard recreational stuff like we can't see it, like Cat Williams, like, do you know that I can see you? You just going right there, just right, just no big deal, huh? Okay, well, hey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen some shit, but nothing like this right here. Dog. All right, come on.
But he stopped promoting, he stopped doing music, and he's also locked up right now for, like, I think drug charges. I don't know. But he was never the same after that. He saw. But a couple years later, after this whole Justin Bieber Yummy Yummy video came out, y'all, that stuff made me sick to my stomach, because as soon as you walk in, it was, just go watch that video if you ain't watched the video, but that's basically exactly how it happened. So I say that to say this.
Y'all seen this video she talking about, chat? Chat, y'all seen this video she talking about? I ain't saying this. Let me check Instagram. What they doing on IG, man? Shout out Bisco. Shout out P. Shout out Odaka. Okay. That's crazy. I ain't seen this yummy, yummy stuff. I don't even want to pull it up. I'm not trying to get flagged, y'all. Let's listen to her story, though.
Diddy is not the only one who had them freak offs. If Diddy is, you know, and I can fact check everything. But anyway, stay tuned for the next story time about how one of the most famous rappers of their time tried to lock. Diddy is not the only one who.
All right, y'all. We've I'm sure we've all heard enough of this here. Look, man. Y'all gotta pay attention to what's going on. Before I move on to the next segment, y'all have got to pay attention to what's going on. Partaking in certain things begets you side effects, behaviors, just like gateway Uggs. Y'all know certain words I can't say. Just like those work, it works the same with behaviors. You start off doing a little bit of this, then you start doing a little bit of that, then you do a little bit of, and then before you know it, you don't have any boundaries anymore. Like we got to draw some hard lines in the sand. That's why I always talk to y'all about morals and principles, man. It can't be a price on everything. She talking about this dude was never the same. Brothers, y'all reading between the lines. Ladies in here, y'all reading in between the lines. He was never the same. Did he just only see stuff, or did something happen to him back there? Was it just what he saw? You see what I'm saying? You said the liquor wasn't really liquor all the way, right? It had some little sugar and spice to it. How long was he gone again? I'm just trying to do some math here, ladies and gentlemen. He quit his whole job. Seemed to have been a lucrative promoter. He just dropped everything, went back to the trap. Nah, man. That sounds deeper than just something you saw. Shit. That sounds deeper than something y'all saw. But listen, chat, we're going to move off of this one. That was a crazy story time. I've been knowing about, how people get weird when they get this money. These people get bored. Then you got these humiliation rituals. The shit get wicked. You know what I mean? We can get off into that and do a whole episode, but I'd rather not. So what y'all want to do, man? Let's move into the question of the day. Here we go. Question of the day. Are active fathers establishing false expectations for women? So are the men that are in the girls' lives raising them to have false expectations, is how I'm seeing this question. Interesting. I have been known to say sometimes females with dads be worse than the females without dads. I have been known to say that because you do have some women who had their fathers that got like a superhero complex. Like, my dad was the ultimate man of all men that you could ever be in the history of all men that ever existed among all men. And so like the only person above my dad is like Jesus Christ. So like if I don't meet a man that's, like my dad, then, it's just like, I don't really know, shit like that. Like you hear women say some wild shit that have their fathers and have good relationships with them. You see them say some wild things sometimes from time to time. And that's not always the case, right? If you ask me, would I rather deal with a woman who has known her father or a woman who has not? If you just ask me that without giving me any additional information about said options, I mean, my instincts would tell me to go toward the woman who had her father in her life. But I've seen that shit work backwards. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast says why Shorty ain't lead a party after the first room with the kids in it. Right, right. How he see? That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. If he went and saw the kids in the first room, how did he know there was room after room after room? You just so after the first room, you felt like maybe if I keep walking, things will get better. Maybe if I keep walking, things will get better. Hey, nasty work. Despicable work, boy. Great point, dog. But question of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. Talk to me about that. Are the active fathers establishing false expectations for their daughters? Like in the dating world, for women in the dating world? Like are the women that's coming up with the super dads? You know, are they just as bad? Are they just as bad as the women who are coming up without a relationship with their father? That's the question. And these questions, when I ask these questions for the people who get triggered, because on TikTok they go crazy just because you have a question. They'll say, "Why'd you ask?" You know what I mean? But these questions are just for all of us, really. It's to strike a conversation, really. Let's talk about it. I know we all got experiences. I've dated women who had strong relationships with their dads, and I had relationships with their dads when I was with those women, and then I've dated women who didn't really have relationship with their dads. That's what I'm saying. Like if somebody asks me, oh, correct me if I'm wrong, said, I know for a fact I am. That's why I remind her she not gonna find another me. Damn. So you feel like the principles that you instilling into your daughters, you feel like they're giving her like a false sense of reality in regards to like what she'll probably have to pick from out in the real world. And then if that's the case, how come? Like, wouldn't you want her to grow up to have, love and happiness like you and your wife have, bro? Talk to me, dog. But yeah, I think I've seen examples of it, but I'm gonna just say I'd rather everything flow in natural order if possible. Everything isn't gonna always be ideal. That's life. So to expect things to be ideal all the time, that's unrealistic in and of itself. But I would just say if you had to ask me to choose, I would definitely, without any additional context to an option of women, if they just said, hey, you could pick woman A who had a strong relationship with her dad, had him in her life, the whole time, or woman B, her pops was like a Rolling Stone, like in and out and shit like that. Probably by default, I'm going to lean towards A, but just due to my own personal experiences, because I've actually met women with fathers who keep themselves single because they damn near, it's like a weird thing. Like they damn near like measure me into their dad. And like, I don't know, it's weird. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast says a well-rounded man with all the things. That's what you telling her to look for? A well-rounded man with all the things? What are all the things? What are all the things? That's a little too broad of a term for me. I don't know what that means. Oh, so you're teaching her to look for a well-rounded man with all the things. Okay. That's what's up. I mean, I guess that's fair, right? But I mean, honestly, God not gonna give me no daughters. I don't have those problems. I don't have to worry about that. But I mean, if I have a niece, and I just tell her when she starts dating, and she's not right now, but when she gets to that point, I just tell her measure a man's character above all else, his character and his habits. If he's a hardworking person and he's, enthusiastic and has energy, for grinding and like building himself up, even if he ain't where he gonna be, you can measure his trajectory. You know what I mean? So I would give her that type of advice and just tell her to make sound decisions. Make decisions based on the results that you want and not, whatever these little temporary fleeting emotions are. That's what I would tell, my niece. But she's not at that stage where she dating yet. But God not gonna give me no daughters, so I don't really have to worry about giving a young woman advice. But for the men that are raising daughters, though, I definitely think that, it's natural for us to warn them about the worst of us, right? What that looks like and what you don't want them to end up falling into. And then from there, I think it's important to put just as much emphasis on how to spot somebody decent and reasonable. You know what I'm saying? So info purposes only says your first child gonna be a daughter. Bet. Please don't manifest that over my life. I rebuke that in the name of everybody that's higher than us. Yeah, please do not. Not interested. But healthy is what I'll take over everything, just so the universe knows. But yeah, I've never spoken of having a daughter ever in my life, not even really hypothetically. So I don't see that happening. But I do have a niece, a beautiful niece. So that's as experienced as being a father as I want to be. I got goddaughters, but biological daughters I will not create. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast says the things, all the measurements we as men agree in general make a man. Working can elaborate much more than that. Now I understand totally. I appreciate you tapping in and chiming in the chat amidst the fact that you have metrics to maintain, brother. I know that what month is it? Y'all should be having some mid-year reviews coming up. I understand. Stay on top of it, man. Get that raise, dog. I know the corporate life. But yeah, man. I don't know. I think that fathers are more beneficial than not. That's the direction I'm gonna lean on this one in regards to the question of the day. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat, and we can continue to hash this out on the rewatch for sure. Let's move into we got the code language of the day, and then we got a live reaction video. I think I want to go to the reaction video because this my YouTube bae. This my YouTube crush, my bae. Let me pull her up. One of my favorite content creators. Here we go. We going over to River TV. And this one is going to be about, there's a woman that's calling out women who glamorize divorce. And I think River's thumbnail says something about women nowadays are kind of changing the point of marriage. So we're going to watch this and join her commentary and join the conversation on this and see where it takes us. I haven't watched it, so let's roll.
The marriage no longer served her. And I'm going to tell you why that statement and that mindset that she has is why she's getting a divorce.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I'm back again with another video. So I actually saw this when I was scrolling through the wonderful world of TikTok, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even watch it. I just saw these words on the screen, and I decided that we were gonna watch it and react to it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play, pause play, and give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation.
A married woman got on here and said that she was getting a divorce because the marriage no longer served her. And I'm going to tell you why that statement and that mindset that she has is why she's getting a divorce. Your marriage is not always going to serve you. That is quite literally why the vows say for better or for worse.
Say it again, please. Say it again. Okay? This is not terms. This is not means to an end. This is not, oh, let me do this until, or it is just supposed to be circumstantial. No, it is supposed to be a very serious commitment, your lifelong commitment that you are supposed to make. But people treat it like dating. Okay. And one day they just wake up and want to graduate.
Because there will indeed be worse in your relationship. Talking about how marriage no longer serves her, as if marriage is some type of aesthetic or something. You and your marriage girl era, that ain't how marriage works. look.
Okay, listen. These are the type of people I can talk to and have long conversations with. Okay, this is not, and this is
Hold on. Let me jump in on River's commentary real quick. In case y'all don't know about River TV, go to YouTube, subscribe to River TV. I always talk about how women who will end up alone and women who are fit to be wives or already wives speak a different language. So every day I go to River TV and I listen to how a wife sounds when she talks. Let us continue.
the problem. It's showing the emphasis that women are focused on the wedding, on the day, on the ring, on the showing off pictures on Instagram and social media, on the event itself, and are not focused on the marriage. This is how you know that. Because if they feel like, yeah, I did that, I don't want to do that anymore. Oh, yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but now I want to be in this era. Now I want to be in my single girl era. Now I want to be in this kind of era. It's not an era. As she said, it's not an aesthetic.
Social media in general has affected relationships in so many ways, but the way society thinks a marriage is supposed to look is very detrimental to people who are actually married. And before you get married, they make you say the wedding vows. Till death do us part is in your wedding vows. She's on TikTok saying, am I supposed to stay in this marriage until I die?
I wouldn't want to state the obvious, but I would assume that's what he was supposed to be doing. And I do want to add this caveat too. I can understand if you are in a relationship, a marriage, to be exact, and there becomes a decision that there becomes situations that's too much, right? Like there are some people who can be in toxic situations and that man hitting on them and they can overcome it and get through it, but there's other times that that's not the case. So if that's ever presented in a situation and somebody says I can't do this anymore, I completely understand. There's nothing to even talk about, right? Because it can get to a certain extent and that can, like I said, be detrimental to your health. I completely get that.
Your marriage.
All right, hold on. We got comments. Mr. McBride said if these 304s knew what marriage was in the first place, they wouldn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bodies before deciding I'm ready to be a wife now. I'm not doing this with you today, dog. I'm not doing this with you today, dog. I'm choosing peace, brother. I'm choosing peace, man. We watching River TV. We get to listen to her articulate to the sisterhood the things that we can't find the articulation for. And we just got to watch her work, man. I'm going to add in where I can, but she's doing a damn good job right now, bro. And here you come choosing violence. Listen to this man. This is violence, y'all. If these 304s knew what, if these 304s in the dough, he just owned that. In the dough, he just owned that, bro. I can't listen. This guy is the friend you can't take to the kickback. Because when the casual conversation start happening at the spades table, G, he gon'
natural born crash dummy. And he go crash out.
100% of the time. Okay? He gonna have a conversation. He gonna say the quiet shit out loud. You know what I'm saying? all the all the rules. Hey, he laughing because he know I'm right. All the rules you ain't supposed to break, man. I love the chat, man. Shout out to Mr. McBride, man, in the chat. But let's let them cook, bro. Let's let them cook. Damn, man.
Is not always going to serve you.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite literally why the vows say for better or for worse, because there will indeed be worse in your relationship.
There's other situations that could arise, but a lot of these people be in their feelings and they're in a low space for a certain amount of time, and they believe that means that because I felt so low or because I was unhappy within myself and because you couldn't fix the wrongs that are in me, I now need to get with somebody else. That's not going to change it, because obviously you're the problem. So anywhere you go, you're still going to have that same problem because it's you, right? And so a lot of these women have a hard time understanding that. Which so weird to me is that these same women get pregnant and have kids and then talk about they don't want to be a parent no more. Like, you have commitment issues, I get it, but you keep putting yourself in situations that are for the long haul.
Those were your vows. She also said you need to prioritize your happiness over, marriage. If every time somebody was unhappy in their marriage they left, nobody would be married.
100.
Hey, nobody at all. Sorry, River. Look, you quick on the trigger. Hey, nobody will be married. Nobody will be married. Marriage was never just about happiness. It's about a whole bunch of shit. Happiness, though, happiness is one of the most short-term emotions you can experience. There's emotions that linger and last. Grief, for example, for some people, lingering emotion. Happiness, the little dopamine hit, that's quick. You hooked on happiness, you might as well be hooked on Ron. I can't say the full, that air Ron. You might as well be on that. You hooked on happiness. That shit come, go, quick high. Like, you gotta have some, y'all, it's too many, y'all want too many peaks and then don't want no valleys. Come on, man. What Eminem say? Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes, you know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
Not one person would be married. How you react to that unhappiness is what makes the difference between the people who were divorced at 10 years and the people who make it 30 plus years.
100%. 100%. And I had this conversation all the time. People believe that from my conversations that I am saying that you were supposed to be a doormat. You're supposed to be a woman that's a doormat. You don't have any opinion. You don't stand up for yourself or defend yourself, which you should have to stand up for yourself in your marriage, which that's a whole different conversation. But that's never the case. It's all about how you get your point across. It's just like, for example, when you watch Charlie Brown and you hear want, when the teacher is talking, it's going in one ear and out the other. When women are, overly emotional, when they are communicating and they're yelling and they're screaming and they're throwing things, nobody can hear you. That man is disengaged. He is now on his defense.
Listen to me. If River, I don't even know if River is married. I just know she a wife. I don't know that she's married. If River's single, don't let me catch you in traffic. We gonna have a conversation. You see how she get it? That's a woman who will always be able to effectively communicate with a man. Do y'all see how she get it? She just gets it. She gets it. She gets it. She gets it. You know what I'm saying? I could listen to her talk all day. Mr. McBride said, but we gonna go yard while I do it though. Yeah, we're gonna win the spades game. We're not gonna lose the spades game. But you definitely gonna overshare. We just talked about you in the earlier live. You definitely gonna overshare. Just say the quiet shit out loud. Info purposes only says spellcraft is very real. We gotta wake up. Facts. Come on now. Elaborate on spellcraft for the people. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna post up all your comments. Elaborate on that for the people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast said you ain't going J down. You crazy as hell. Boy, if I see River, I'm just going to simply first thing I'm going to do is introduce myself. Second thing I'm doing is finding out her status. If it's anything similar to close to single, nigga, shit, he better be a better man than me. Whoever in her ear better be a better man than me. Is you crazy? Hey, it's only a few of these walking around, ladies and gentlemen. When y'all listen to River TV talk, it's only a few of these walking around. You talking about the last of a dying breed? Shit. You hear me? This making model, they don't make them like that no more. And she in the gym and be cooking on Instagram. Don't go follow her. Y'all follow her on YouTube. Don't go follow her on Instagram. Stay off Bay IG. You feel me? Natural born shooter over here, Mr. McBride. You know my pedigree.
And it's not the two of you against the problem. Now it's him versus you.
But the way society thinks a marriage is supposed to look is very detrimental to people who are actually married.
You have to know how to communicate your grievances within your relationship. You have to know how to approach them. And you might not always get it right, but the ratio matters. If you're walking around 90% getting it wrong, that relationship is in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you communicate. And are you willing to be tested enough to grow? Are you willing? If you are unwilling to have humility, if you are unwilling to have somebody tell you about yourself, if you're unwilling or you feel like you can't be checked, marriage is not for you. It's not for you. It's not going to work. Because the only way that two people can effectively cohabitate in one space and grow together is if you are able to compromise.
She also said you need to prioritize your happiness over, marriage. If every time somebody was unhappy in their marriage they left, nobody would be married.
A lot of women are in these situations that, their ego gets to them. And they are leading very egotistical and arrogant lives. And they don't understand it because everybody around them is feeding it. The consensus is we don't need men. Men don't matter. Men's opinions don't matter. Men are beneath us. Women run the world. And so their ego is so inflated that when they actually get into relationships, they have the hardest time because now they have to go ahead and ex-nay, put an axe to that ego.
And it doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen. Let me just chime in right there. And it doesn't happen. Oftentimes the ego wins. Y'all see the divorce rates and y'all see who fouling, right? We can't run from the numbers, but we not even gonna lean on the numbers. Just pay attention to what's going on outside. Listen to the lyrics and the music. Pay attention to the themes of the movies. It's very much a I can go get another one type energy, right? It's a I'd rather be alone type energy. I was just on a great panel last night where we were talking about the topic that I posed, the question that I posed, we discussed on the panel that I was on last night. And the question that I posed was about what is the average Black woman's American dream? And there was a sister on the panel and she gave the best answer she could for herself. But when I posted the question on TikTok, there was a flurry of comments. They still, hammering away on my comments on TikTok on that question because there were so many different answers. But the common answer that I found was indifference. And we're in regards to having a husband, because the second part of the question was, does it involve having a husband? And there was so much indifference. You had a lot of females like, oh, my American dream is I want stability, financial stability, a good career, take care of my child that I already have. And, if I have a man, if I run across the right man, then cool type shit. Or it was some shit like, females be like, well, I have my standards. So if I don't meet nobody to meet my standards, I'm perfectly fine alone. Like that was the most common type of energy. But then there was some other stuff too. There was a couple sisters chiming in saying, of course, I want a husband, this, that, and the third. But it wasn't much of it. Right. So overall, all in all, there's a lot of women who are indifferent, meaning they like the idea of a husband, maybe. Right. Without one, cool, it's whatever. I'm already, that's how they look at it. So as a man, you building yourself up, becoming this and becoming that, just to go get a woman that feel like could do what you could do without you, You did all that to get that. That's the return on investment. You see what I'm saying? So it's just something to think about. But let me bring this back in though. I didn't mean to get so far off on a tangent, but I gotta let my consciousness go. Let's go.
How you react to that unhappiness is what makes the difference between the people who were divorced at 10 years and the people who make it 30 plus years.
And that's not an easy thing to do when you've built it up for so many years and so much time. It's hard to do that. Hence why it's important to have the conversations early on. Hey, if you are growing and you want to be married, you need to be thinking for two. That's how you need to be thinking. If you are a single person and you live by yourself, you need to be thinking, I am the head of the household for now, but when I get into a relationship, somebody else is going to be the decision maker. Somebody else is going to be in that seat. There's going to be a leader above me. It's not going to be my way or the highway. It's going to be, I have to have a conversation and see how this is going to go. And a lot of people don't understand, like, even when it came to the whole Tia Mowry situation that graduated from her marriage.
Marriage was a success. Yeah. I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. Yeah. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
A lot of people had this idea that I had a certain disdain, a personal disdain for Tia. And it's not that. I mean, who didn't grow up watching Sister Sister, the game, all that kind of stuff, had no personal disdain for Tia herself. But I have a problem with the message that it sends out there to other women.
And you should have a problem with it with because that's wifey. She should have a problem with it. No disrespect if she do got somebody that she keeping off the internet. Check it out. Info Purposes said you have to make sure you find the right person to do these vows with. If you're in a karmic relationship or a relationship that is not healthy for you, you're creating a soul trap bondage agreement. That's deep. That's deep. People breaking those though too. People getting out of these marriages like it's a regular breakup, like they just go together. They make a divorce easier and easier. Hey, if you was going to school to be a lawyer, divorce attorneys, it's got to be a bag over there. Correct me if I'm wrong, sis. Just to go get a woman who's been tainted and her inside redecorated. Damn. Can't take them nowhere, y'all. Telling you, can't take them nowhere.
That when you are going through tough times in marriage, the only way to solve this problem is to leave and go be single and have your own house and thrive on your own because you never got to do it before. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. You stand 10 toes down. You made this decision. You may not feel good all the time. You might have some growing pains to go through, but that does not mean that you have to tear away the fabric of the foundation of your family unit for you to grow. You can grow on your own. That man probably ain't even stopping you from growing. You're stifling yourself for your own imaginary reasons.
I do have.
Bro, is y'all listening to her? And Mr. McBride talking about if I see her, I'm not shooting my shot. If she in a relationship, I'm not. I'm gonna respect the situation. But if she not, I gotta see. What? You hear her? Man, if this shit ain't just for the internet, I gotta find out. Nigga, women that's that level understanding of us, bruh, man, tell me what, correct me if I'm wrong, podcast, this question specifically for you. I'm going to give you a chance to answer while I listen to Tia spew her rhetoric, because you know she finna say some bullshit. But anyway, answer this for me. What percentage of women you think in the United States of America, all colors, that's got this level of understanding that River has so eloquently exhibited in this video, like she does in all her videos? What percentage? Just guesstimate. I know we can't prove it. Let's just have some fun. I just want to see what you think, bro. And you talking about I'm not finna shoot my shot. You crazy as hell, nigga. And you hooped with me. You know I'm good. You know I'm good for it. That shit cash.
A feeling and a sense of freedom following my divorce.
That situation just happened to work out because it overly kickstarted, Corey's career, which made it seem like she was the one who was holding him back. Okay, that's just my opinion. But again, it's the message that it sends out there to married women that are going through tough times. It's harder to hear. A lot of people don't talk about obviously the negative things in their marriages, which I wouldn't encourage them to. But a lot of times these people who are out here, they only see that you're either extremely happily married and the marriage is perfect, or you divorce and you go live your single life, and all of a sudden all these women who are single are happy.
Man, listen, we got what we need. Make sure y'all go subscribe to River TV. Make sure y'all follow her. She has an amazing channel. She's one of the people, in all seriousness, she's one of the content creators that I follow as motivation, because I do look at my peers in the content creation and see who doing what and what pace people moving at, and who upgrading their backgrounds and stuff like that, because in this game it's a competitive thing. And so I look to content creators that's doing dope shit that's helpful to the community, even though it's some polarizing truths. I look to those creators and try to keep pace, if not outwork them some days. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to River TV, and y'all make sure y'all subscribe. But for real, if she don't have a guy though, Mr. McBride answered my question. He gave a percentage 0.00000000002%. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So that's what we call the diamond in the rough, sir. A woman. Listen, you can put her mentality, and she's gorgeous to me, but you could put her brain in a woman that's 2 tiers less cute than she is, and she's still gonna be fine. once she start talking. She's still gonna be fine. Her body in shape, and she could be 2 rungs. She could be 2 rungs less cute than River is, because River's gorgeous to me. This chick could be mid, but if she talk and think like that, she's attractive. Not even the word. Is you crazy? That shit don't be happening like that. Info purposes only says till death do us part sounds romantic, right? No, this is a spell, one that locks you into a karmic loop. These vows don't bind you in love. They bind you in unfinished contracts, unspoken trauma. And the illusion that suffering equal loyalty. So what, okay, so I don't want to say I agree or disagree. I'm indifferent, but so my question would be then, what should be people's romantic goals? Should it be to have multiple experiences throughout the course of this particular lifetime? Is that what it should be? Should everything just have an expiration date on it? Like when the shit get rough, that means it's time to break the contract or break the loop or break the bond? Because I'm just reading through it, and I'm not, again, I don't agree or disagree. I'm just asking for more. Like, till death do us part sounds romantic, right? No, this is a spell, one that locks you into a karmic loop. These vows don't bind you in love. They bind you in unfinished contracts, unspoken trauma. And then also said, and the illusion that suffering equal loyalty. All right, Mr. McBride said, let me see. Mr. McBride said, info bugging, death do us part is because it's supposed to literally be a binding of 2 into 1 until you die. Info purposes only said, I can go on and on with this, but it's important to make sure you're in the right healed space before you connect it with your partner, so you don't end up in a loop, then settling in divorce. Right. So are you saying, so info purposes only, I guess I'm trying to figure out, are you saying that people should have a lifelong companion until they pass away, like be with one person until they pass away, but you just saying the vows themselves shouldn't necessarily be taken? I just want to fully understand. I'm not even trying to agree or disagree. I just want to fully get it. That's all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast says you bugging though. He said death do us part is because it's supposed to literally be a binding of 2 into 1 until you die. I feel like she's saying the same thing though, but looking at it different. Y'all about to have a real debate in the comments. I wish y'all could both come on screen right now. That would be amazing. I'll drop the link in the chat. Anybody free? Let's turn up. I got time today, cuz. Let's turn up. I only got one more segment after this one. Don't threaten me with a good time. Correct me if I'm wrong, says, why is their first thought about marriage always the worst case scenario? Well, they like my dog Cooley always says on the No Fugazi podcast, is that women are more what is the term he always uses? Neurotic, more neurotic than men, meaning that they have more negative thoughts and emotions on average than a man does. It may explain why they worry more too, but it may be in alignment with their natural desire to nurture and protect the babies. I don't know. I don't even, so info purposes only says, I can't jump in right now, but I could later, like around 3. Shit, I can come back at 3. I can come back at 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. You free at 3? We can get this worked out. Correct me if I'm wrong. You good at 3? I'll make it happen at 3. Shit, y'all know it's a streamathon for me. I'm on the road to 1K subs. Y'all know what time it is with me. It's a streamathon. Info purposes only says, but I'm trying to take it in another step deeper. Don't get lost. I definitely agree with finding a lifelong partner. No, for sure. I'm not gonna get lost. You're not gonna lose me. I'm just trying to fully understand. That's all. For sure. We could take it. We could take it a step deeper. So you do agree with lifelong partnership? That's the part I need to answer, because I wasn't able to gather that at first. So you do agree with that? You just saying something in regards to the vows and the spells and what that all does and what that means. He says, I'm down for 3. 3 it is. We coming back live at 3. It's going to be a 3-peat for me. I was already live for an hour this morning. We heading towards an hour right now. We're going to do 3 o'clock, and we're going to hash this out. So let's put a pin in this topic. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's move on into the code language conversation. We talking about guidance. Hold on. One more comment. She said, absolutely. It's just that we have people jumping into these relationships without no mental direction, without no inner direction. I agree with that. I agree. I agree. I think I could add something to the conversation too, like not necessarily even an agreement or disagreement with you, but more so kind of just a separate point. But just a lot of times people don't really have a mentality that's conducive to sustainability, like just their thought process in general. Like oftentimes if you ask a woman like, oh, what if you just ask in general, like, and I ask these random questions, that's why I speak this way. I'll ask like, what things could get you to leave your marriage if you were married? And this could be an unmarried woman, so it's purely hypothetical. And they'll have a list of things. Doesn't matter what they are. They have a list of things. So you have a list of shit that you will walk out of your marriage for. Whereas if you ask a man, like, what things will make you leave your wife, he may have like one, possibly two things. Most men, my wife, they're not too much leaving for real. So I think sometimes mentality too has to do with it. But I'm with the spiritual side of it too. I'm with all of that. So we're gonna discuss it at 3 for sure. Let's get into this code language, guidance. So y'all know we always start off the code language by looking up the book definition. So let's get into that, where we actually discuss what the term technically means, and then we can get off into the nuances. So the definition of guidance: advice or information aimed at resolving a problem or difficulty, especially as given by someone in authority. So I'll read it again. Advice or information aimed at resolving a problem or difficulty, especially as given by someone in authority. The second definition is the directing of the motion or position of something, especially a missile. So that one doesn't apply to what we're talking about. So we're talking about advice or information aimed at resolving a problem or a difficulty. Hold on, she said. Okay, you said disregard the last message. Okay, I won't post it then. Let's get into the code language. So we're talking about guidance. So when we talk about guidance, there's a lot of different types of guidance, right? So you have your human guides, which for a majority of us are going to be whoever is our initial adults in our lives, be it your parents, be it, grandparents for some people raised by aunts, some people, everybody's situation is not the same, but whoever raised them, right? Your next to kin or your legal guardian, so to speak, right? Normally our first sense of guidance comes from those adults tasked with those responsibilities for us. But then as we move forward and start getting into the school system, getting off into jobs, getting off into social lives and things like that, guidance comes from a lot of different directions for us. There's some people I know I've had friends in the past where they sought guidance from me because of where my maturity level was in comparison to them, even though we were the same age. I've even had people in my adulthood, men older than me, call me big bro. I've had that happen as well too. So people get and seek and receive guidance from all different places. But I think with guidance, we have to look at it carefully because it takes discernment to know what guidance is good for us. Where we should seek guidance from, and not only where we should seek it from, but which pieces of the guidance we should take. You may go seek guidance from a mentor, for example, and they talk to you for 30 minutes. And out of that 30 minutes, 5 minutes of it you don't need, and you probably shouldn't take heed to. 5 minutes of it. Your discernment need to be turned up so you don't take that part. Because some of it could be specific advice for you, some of it could be general that doesn't apply to you in this particular way. You know what I mean? So we have to always have our discernment turned up when seeking guidance. And that doesn't mean to be skeptical, right? Because if you're seeking guidance, then obviously you're going to someone that you respect. But let's talk about the spiritual guidance side though. So you have some people who are super spiritually tapped in and they have what you call spiritual guides. Then you have people who are more so on the religious side. And so they would say they have Jesus or the Holy Spirit. Some would say they have Allah. You know what I mean? And so, or Buddha or whomever, right? Yeshua, etc. So you have the religious side where they seek their guidance through that. And then you have the spiritual side where they kind of like tap into the source energy a little bit. So I know these terminologies because you know, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm very much, you know, fully understanding of the religious side of things. So I think on that framework of things, the guidance from the powers that be, right? The our creators, so to speak, right? So whatever y'all want to call it, so we could be neutral in this conversation. When seeking guidance out that way, there's so many ways to look at it. So I'm gonna be non-biased and just talk about both. You have some folks who believe in looking outward, which would be in the act or the practice of like kneeling down, vocally saying a prayer out loud to elsewhere, right? To heaven, to the creator, to God, to the Holy Spirit, to Jesus, right? They outwardly express, right? And then you have some people who seek their guidance and they go to the God energy inside. That's more so my framework. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. We just talking about the differences in the spiritual guidance and how people go about getting it. I always look inward. I was always of the belief system that if we are all, you know, operating under the same source energy, and the source energy is God or the universe or whatever said person would like to call it, if we're running off of that, if God is in me, why would I look out to seek God? I will look in, and I should be equipped or whatever the case may be, equipped with everything I need to manage in this life, right? So they always say, you won't get more than you can handle. God won't give you more than you can handle. So it's all in alignment. Yeah, but I think guidance is one of those things that we could probably hash out and talk about for a long time, because it's a lot of different directions we can go with it. But I kind of wanted to speak about it in general and just put it on y'all minds, because now that we're the adults in the world, right? We're getting, all of our clocks are constantly ticking. It's good to be aware when somebody's coming to you for guidance, because sometimes you may just be talking to somebody and saying, oh, well, I would do this or I would do that. And you don't know they listening to you for advice, right? So it's good to recognize when you are the guidance. It's good to recognize when you need some guidance. And it's awesome to recognize where to go for guidance and who to stay away from. Y'all ever had somebody give you unsolicited guidance? Yeah, man, I think you should, with what you got going on, I think you should really just do this, and this. And you looking at them like, I ain't even ask you. I ain't gonna hold you, champ. I ain't even ask you. I'm not even interested in what you talking about for real. You know what I mean? So there's that too. So yeah, man, that's the code language conversation for today. Just wanted to break down and discuss guidance. I'm gonna read the definition one more time in closing. Guidance, advice or information aimed at resolving a problem or difficulty, especially as given by someone in authority. And that kind of, the authority piece kind of speaks to the spiritual side, right? So yeah, man. So let's move into chat Q&A. If y'all got anything for me, anything y'all want to throw out, any conversations y'all want to have, anything y'all want to bring back up from earlier that we was talking about, whatever y'all got, I'll give y'all 2 minutes to shoot and I'll respond to whatever. You know what I mean? I don't have 2 minutes to be here, but I'm saying give y'all 2 minutes to say something. If not, then we're going to tap out. But yeah, if you got a question for me or a topic you want to pose, we could talk about it. Like I said, I got time. Y'all just let me know. While I give y'all that 2 minutes though, I'm definitely about to listen to the rest of this song though. That's a fact.
Let's get focused. Want the fruits of your labor, gotta climb the tree. Yeah, I'm out here planting seeds, cause I got a lot to leave. I be putting in long miles, I ain't gotta stop to breathe. I be putting in long hours, I ain't gotta stop to sleep. Yeah, I put in that time, put in work, I'm a different breed. My work ethic marine, mama mentality, shout out the bean. Coach like sweat, 6 society T. I'm in the gym working out clean. Bad work, 5 punch combinations, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. Boy, I'm made different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with me.
All right. What y'all got, chat? What we looking like? It's dry. What we doing? Let me check Instagram right quick. Shit finna be over with. We got to come back at 3. On God, I'm finna go get something to eat. Y'all have no idea. I've been streaming all day. We got nothing on Instagram. Nothing on here. All right, then. Shit, we gonna call it one. Listen, make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Always drop comments if you're watching this on the playback. Whether you agree or disagree, let's have a conversation because we gotta crack these codes, man. And if y'all don't do anything else, do it for me. Stick to the codes. Another classic.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hard